Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why does protecting yourself feel selfish? Why does saying no feel heavier than saying yes, even when yes hurts you? Why does the moment you think about setting a boundary, your chest tightens, your stomach drops, and a voice inside whispers? You're being difficult. You're going to hurt them. They'll leave. Most people think boundaries are about communication skills. They're not. Boundaries are about attachment safety. If boundaries feel terrifying, it's not because you don't know how to set them. It's because at some point, connection felt conditional and self-protection felt dangerous. Backhand index pointing right. This episode is not about becoming hard, distant, or selfish. Backhand index pointing right. It's about learning how to stay connected without disappearing. Welcome back to MindShift. Let's clear the biggest misunderstanding first. Boundaries are not cross-mark punishment, cross-mark control, cross-mark walls, cross-mark rejection. Cross-mark ultimatums psychologically. Boundaries are backhand index pointing right, clear signals to your nervous system that you are safe with yourself. Boundaries answer one question: what do I need to stay regulated in connection? Healthy boundaries protect emotional capacity, preserve identity, reduce resentment, increase trust. Without boundaries, connection becomes obligation. And obligation slowly kills intimacy. If boundaries trigger guilt, that guilt didn't come from nowhere. Guilt is a learned emotional response. For many people, early life taught love equals compliance, safety equals being easy, belonging equals not upsetting others. So when you say no now, your nervous system hears. You're risking connection. That guilt isn't morality, it's memory. Backhand index pointing right. Guilt is often fear wearing a moral mask. Let's break this down by attachment patterns. Anxious attachment boundaries feel like abandonment fear. If I say no, I'll be left. Tendency, over-explain, over-justify. Avoidant attachment boundaries feel like control. Fear, if I engage, I'll lose autonomy. Tendency. Silent boundaries, withdrawal. Fearful avoidant attachment boundaries feel dangerous and necessary. Fear. If I speak, I'll lose them. If I don't, I'll lose myself. Backhand index pointing right. Boundary issues are attachment wounds, not character flaws. Most advice ignores the body. It assumes. You feel safe enough to speak, you trust yourself, you can tolerate others' reactions, but if boundaries were safe, you'd already be setting them. People pleasers don't lack courage. They lack nervous system safety. You don't freeze because you're weak. You freeze because your body predicts loss. Backhand index pointing right. Boundaries require regulation before communication. Without boundaries, you pay in invisible ways. Chronic resentment, emotional exhaustion, loss of attraction, passive aggression, sudden cutoffs. Many people don't explode because they're dramatic. They explode because they were silent too long. Backhand index pointing right. Unspoken boundaries always leak out as resentment. This is critical. Boundaries say, this doesn't work for me. Rejection says, you don't matter. People with attachment wounds confuse the two, because early on needs were met with withdrawal, anger, abandonment, so the nervous system learned. Boundaries equals loss, but mature relationships work differently. Backhand index pointing right. Boundaries protect connection, they don't destroy it. People who struggle with boundaries often attract Emotionally immature partners, boundary-blind people, those who benefit from overgiving not because you choose badly, but because your silence teaches others what's acceptable. Boundaries reveal compatibility. People who respect boundaries feel safer. People who don't reveal themselves. Healthy boundaries are clear, calm, brief, non-defensive examples. I'm not available for that. I need time. That doesn't work for me. Notice, no over-explaining, no apology for existing. Backhand index pointing right, boundaries don't need to be justified to be valid. Self-abandonment often feels familiar. Self-respect feels unfamiliar. So when you choose yourself, your nervous system protests. That discomfort doesn't mean you're wrong. Backhand index pointing right, it means you're doing something new. Growth feels wrong before it feels safe. Healing boundaries happens in stages. Stage 1, awareness, notice, resentment. It's a boundary signal. Stage 2, pause, delay, automatic, yes. Stage 3, name the fear, what am I afraid will happen? Stage 4, speak simply, no over-explaining. Stage 5, stay present, let discomfort pass. Backhand index pointing right, boundaries strengthen with repetition, not force. Some people will guilt trip, withdraw, get angry. This doesn't mean your boundary is wrong. It means the relationship depended on your self-betrayal. Healthy people adjust. Unhealthy dynamics resist. Boundaries create. Safety, desire, respect without boundaries. Attraction fades, resentment grows, power imbalances form. Love doesn't die because of boundaries. It dies because of unspoken limits. Family boundaries trigger the deepest guilt, because belonging once depended on obedience. But adulthood requires differentiation. Boundaries don't mean rejection, they mean evolution. Every boundary says, I matter. I'm listening to myself. I won't disappear. Boundaries are not aggression, they are self-presence. You were never too sensitive. You were underprotected. You don't struggle with boundaries because you're selfish. You struggle because at some point self-protection felt unsafe. But safety can be relearned. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors that let the right people in and keep self-betrayal out. In the next episode, we'll explore emotional maturity versus emotional suppression, and why being strong often means being disconnected. Until then, practice one small boundary and stay with the discomfort. That discomfort is not guilt, it's growth. Welcome back to MindShift. If this episode gave language to something you've always felt but never named, subscribe to continue this season-long journey into boundaries, attachment, and healing.